Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and today we are going for the deck that I think every single control player at some point wanted to make. This is an Esper deck that wants mainly to sweep the board over and over, so you get rid of all those aggro decks. So this is the deck born purely from the frustration of playing the ladder, and as you probably know as a control player, most of the games is against some kind of weird elves, goblins, whatever. They just make creatures, put it under the board and hope you don't have enough remover. Or sweeper. So if you don't have a sweeper at turn 4 or 5, you lose the game automatically. And if you have, then the game starts. So this is the baseline. So you actually have 7 sweepers, 3 with the Graveyard Hate and 4 with the normal Wrath of God. And you also have a lot of removal. You have 4 eliminates and 3 fatal pushes. And this isn't a big problem because you still have Maze Mind Tome, which is both great in control matchups and in aggro matchups because it gives you life, and this is actually something that matters a lot. This 4 life from each tome is a won or lost game most of the time, especially that at some point they just get you to 4, 6 HP and you both top deck. So with this card you will win this war. Without it you would probably lose. Rest of the deck is pretty standard for the Esper, so it's also good thing that you won't automatically lose to control based decks. I actually won more than I thought I should, so there's a huge amount of play that you can still do, especially with Shark Typhoons, Teferi, and you still have some counter spells. Fae of Wishes is great because it serves both as a blocker, and 1/4 with flying for 2 mana is insane. It also always forces some kind of removal, so the enemy needs to attack you, deal 2 or 3 damage, and then use a removal spell. So you actually save 5, 6, 8 HP, and if they don't have this combo, you can just keep blocking forever. So you actually force them to make a worse turn than they would actually like. So this card is great, and for the Granted as a sorcery, it's super amazing. You nearly always wish for a sweeper, so usually that's the card that you fetch, because 7 sweepers is not enough, it's better to have 8. And sometimes you go for Ugin, and you will see in the game I once went for Sphinx Revelation, and if you doubt this card you can just see the game and decide for yourself how good it is. And generally you have Shark Typhoon as well, and 1 Kaya just for additional Graveyard Hate, and it gives life and so on, so it's pretty universal. You usually have some use for Kaya, so I didn't remove her. So if you ever hated aggro and you want to, just say, fuck this thing, I'm going to win, just get this deck and you should be fine probably. You will see the game, so I won't spoil anything, but I really enjoyed this kind of play, and if matchups that you face during your laddering are mostly creature based, you can just go with this deck and probably you will climb quite fast. So if that's the case, just try this deck and I think you will be happy. If you are against more of a control, Yorion things, you shouldn't play this deck. It's okay, it can win, but it's just teched against aggro, so no sense to use it if you face control mostly. But for example, I didn't. I usually face all the aggro decks over and over and over, so I decided why not just get 3 wins and just go with the heavy anti-creature deck. So that being said, let's go to the games, and I really hope you like those, especially as a control mage myself. I know the pain, and I think we all do, so let's get this revenge. And this is the draw that I really like. So we are first. Always this land is the best as the first one. So it enables our all thrown catacombs for the rest of the game. And here we are. Okay, so I don't want to pain myself, especially that this deck is a bit about 2 and 4 mana. Though for Shark Typhoon it's quite good to make a 1/1 token. So we will see. Okay, so the enemy started the game with 1 land, and he didn't draw more. Oh, so he's a smarty. Trix is smarty. That was good. Like this way he can play from this pile in case he draws two. Okay, so let's do it like this. Oh man, you are way early. And do we make a shark? So what the enemy will play? Probably this. We won't kill the lava runner, so I think drawing... No, let's just play. Let's not be very greedy. Like usually you are too greedy at the start, and we will need this land, so let's take it now. And after you are so smart with, you know, being cheap and maxing the value of every card, you just die because you lack 2 life. So the enemy has shock or something like this, okay. If he uses the board from Giant, this actually saves him the card for later. But on the other hand, then he cannot play the Alchemist unless he has instant. So let's do it. I think he will use the burn from the Giant. But it's good for tempo, it's bad for card advantage, and right now we need tempo. So now it goes to the adventure zone, yeah? But we still get to draw card, and he wasted the Alchemist. And what is the next turn? Okay, so more hasted creatures. I hate to counter like 1 mana play with 3 mana. So he will probably play a land, use the Lava Runner, then attack, and then if we counter this one, he has 3 mana for Giant, for example. However, then we can sweep the board, so I think it's not bad. We could also go for the second tome, but I think it's too slow. So let's counter it, because it has haste. He seems to be a smart player, so versus some other guy, maybe it would be worth to not counter and see the other play, but this one will attack for sure, and possibly not play anything on the main turn, like maybe some instant or something like this, so for example this and 1 or 2 mana burn, so we don't get anything now. So I prefer to do it in the safe way, so the enemy cannot circumvent our small strategy. And as you can see, we are already quite low on the life. I really hope for a land and Giant, but it doesn't seem that he's doing this. He didn't hit the land, so I guess it's not worst. And let's do it like this. I want to have land, and we don't need more. Though this is the white land, so okay. Okay, you convinced me. Let's draw. Because without this, we cannot use Wrath. We have some life, but we don't want to waste it too much. Let's see what's cooking. The enemy has some kind of instant, and this is a great card. If I don't play this one right now, I would have to pay 2 life next turn. Okay, let's think. That's important decision. So if I go swamp, I can play the tome, scry, start like making another life, and still use fatal push on the small creature, which seems very good. Worst case, I will use Shadow Verdict, so I think that's fine. The enemy, I think, has another Wizard Lightning, so it doesn't matter how we do it, he will be able to use it. Unless he doesn't have it, and then we kill it. I think right now, yeah, we will do it, he will attack. And this way we force him to either use the damage now, and if he draws it, it's 3 mana and not 1. So it's mana efficient for us. We might get punished if he has big creature with haste, but he doesn't seem to be having many of those. And as you can see, it's just pure burn at this point. Not on. So another 2 life, just to get white mana. Source non-combat deals that much to creature on play. Okay. So let's see what the card is from the top. That's not worst. Like, it gives us 2 life, in a way. Because we need to remove it right now. And then we... yeah, I like it. Because then we can draw card and not only scry. And 2 life is important at this point of the game. It might seem that we are safe, but we are like on the edge. 1-2 cards that we can't handle and we are over the board with 0 HP. Okay. I think we need to kill it as well. And if enemy plays giant, yes. And I think that's the winning play. If he didn't play giant, we would have problems. And now I think it might be GG, because especially that we have Tome. Without the Tome it would be a top decor. So this is the draw that he needs to have something good. And he didn't. So it's possibly some kind of damage. Okay. I don't want to pay life for anything. So now the question, do we go for Shark? Like 4 mana, 4 turn timer isn't bad. Okay, call me greedy. I really like cards and this gives life as well. So I hope we can manage, and we still have Shark just in case. I think this is Sorcery Man. Oh, it's not a sorcerer, so... I think this is also fine, because this makes him only have 4 lands. It's not much. Okay, so now the question. We probably use Shadow Verdict, so let's draw a lot. And that's pretty good draw. However, I don't want the Alchemist on the board. So, do we have mana for both? Yes, we have. And I just realized what's going on. Like, we just removed all the graveyard. We only have Incinerator, but it was good enough. It's still, I think, 2 life. Yeah. Kaya gives 2 life per creature, so it would be enough, I think. We never like enemy going first, but this is quite good. A lot hangs on the Maze Mine Tome. Yeah. For some reason I feel goblins. Is it goblins? It's probably goblins. So goblins are hard because it's an aggro combo deck. And you know, like even if you sweep everything, you need instant removal. And even then, if they draw great with Moxus, you still will die without counter spells. So that's one of the reasons the deck is so strong. I'm not sure if it's goblins, but it just feels a bit like this. Oh man, what happened? The red deck with Fortelling. So either he didn't draw his second color, I think that's what happened. I'm not sure if anyone plays mono red deck with Forter, but I already like it. It's the first time I've seen this kind of deck. I don't even know the red Forter decks, like cards, so this will be a fun one for sure. But I'm glad that the guy actually, Chicho Camp, sorry for butchering her name. So this seems to be some old school, so I think take action was taking damage. Target may have the 4 that... Okay, yeah, take action. Okay, well, that's interesting. And we want Maze Main Tome, like, cards are amazing. This is a good draw. Not the perfect one, but that's a good draw. A bit slow, unfortunately. We have nothing for 3 mana, so we can use the Shrine. And the enemy doesn't have creature. It's very possible I should play the Fae, but I have Eliminate and a lot of creature hate, so I think I can get away with this, and then I don't need to rebuy the Fae with 2 cards. And it seems to be like purely damage based. What's interesting? I have no idea what the red card from Forter is. And it doesn't seem to be like 2-colored. Okay, Dual Strike. When you cast the next instant, small one, copy new targets. Okay, that's a nice one. You know, it might be a bit harder for us to defend against this deck, but I'm glad someone actually is trying to make, you know, new stuff. Maybe it's not perfectly new, but you get the idea. Unless they just... Oh. It seems to be with creatures still. And he's drawing much more than us. Okay, so this seems to be a standard one. Just with the old cards. And the new cards. You can clearly see I'm still baffled by what I see. Okay, so his next turn. I'm pretty sure he will play Alchemist and the Dinosaur. Okay, so what do we want to wish for? We have the Wrath. I think we would love some Wrath game. I think going for the wishes is good. It will be a bit problematic because we will have empty turn after we sweep the board. But let's risk it. Let's risk it. It is risky, but I will go for this. Because we have some life gain from the tome. We have a lot of lands, so this will be a factor every single turn, and the enemy knows that every turn it will be worse for him. And I wonder if he will waste the Dinosaur. Okay, he's greedy, and I like it. And at this point, I think scrying is enough, so let's just go with it. Actually, let's go like this. You got my attention. It's not great now, but it might be great. So, we will clear the board for sure. I like the Sphinx Revelation for multiple reasons, but the main thing is that I see I have a lot of lands. So for some turns I can remove everything he does, but at some point I won't be able to counter everything, and I just need some big, huge advantage and life gain. So this one provides it. So if we use all the lands from our hand, it will be 4 cards and 4 life. If the enemy like fizzles for 1 turn and doesn't do anything, we can just play it for maximum mana, and that should win us the game. And we are at 18 with the tome. We have Sweeper, we had Sweeper. But the enemy like has a weird deck. It's not super aggressive, it's more based about the instants just shooting your face. So it's possible this one is just to make sure the enemy doesn't get life, and this one obviously amplifies an instant and sorcery. Yeah, sorcery as well, yeah. With risk factor it's even stronger, everything. So it's possible the enemy doesn't have like typical much aggro haste creatures. He could not draw them, but I think it's too late that he doesn't have any of those. So the game will be a bit slower, but more unavoidable. Oh man, that's hard word. But generally, unless you run live game or counter spells, you cannot deal with it. Chandra is quite fine.
Let's do this.
So she can only +1 for the card, and he has 2 mana. I'm not okay, this turn. So it means that he will probably not do anything, because it's the same as using the shock, but he has 1 mana more. So no reason to. I like our enemy. He thinks and plays red. That's enough to impress me at this point. Okay, and we are getting smoked. So what we are doing right now? I don't think we will have mana to draw, but we will hold eliminate, so maybe if the enemy doesn't play anything, and he often doesn't, that should be enough. So we have double black for Aska, but then we do not have one black for eliminate, so we need 3 together, so the swamp is much better. And let's do it like this so he cannot draw. We also gain 2 life.
I don't need this.
I would love to foretell, but we cannot. We could also go for Fae. If the enemy did more, you know, creature-based stuff that attacks us in the face, I would for sure use Fae. But that seems to be least important. We are at 10, don't forget, with the ruins. So I don't want to highlight that the enemy always can forget about having this land. But you know, it's just always hitting. We have no way to prevent it. Okay. Normally, if it was early game, I could wait just for him to buff it, because then when we kill it, it's suboptimal play for his mana. It's better to play creatures than instant damage early game, but at this point it doesn't super matter. Oh man, that's a big one. Prowess doesn't change anything, it's not Hearthless Act. Okay, and it's not a counter, it's just +1/+1. And you want to take actions as long as you can. Okay, and the enemy doesn't have small burn for 2 mana, I think. There wasn't a stick, you know. Okay, I like our odds. And as you can see right now, it's already 4 cards and 4 life. And we don't even need to play it right now. The longer we wait, the better. The enemy also sees this and might be pressured. Huh. Do we want it? I think this is one of the biggest cards in the deck. So now let's counter it, because we still draw the card from the Maze Mind Tome, so it's not like we lose much. And next turn Sphinx Revelation will be the same, just better. So it's in a way just a pressure card. Because even if we have instant eliminate or something for the oh well, actually if we had he couldn't tap it because it has no haste. But it's just still better, especially we don't have removal. If it stays until next turn and we cannot remove it, he might do 2 or 3 extra damage depending on the draws. Even more with the madness. Okay, and as you see, if we didn't go for the Sphinx Revelation, our hand isn't so great. It's just 2 lands and 1 small remover. But with Sphinx Revelation, like, it's perfect play. And I think we will play it this turn. Oh man. So, if he uses this one, at this point I'm not even scared to touch it. So, we will be at 8, and he will have no mana. So, that's not very important. I think this should be the ending turn, and Sphinx Revelation was pretty much the closer. Okay, so it will be 5. Yeah? 5. So now you can see why I wanted this, and with life gain we are at 15. So, yeah, and this won us the game already. I don't think the enemy can do anything, just to, you know, come back. Like, he's sacking lands and we are at 13, with removal in our hand. We could go for tomes, but at this point, I want to remove this one because it takes our life, so it's tap land basically, and this one has cycling, so it's better, and this is untapped land, so yeah, we would make a huge shark, block this one, and just kill him in 2 turns, I think. So, Sphinx Revelation is nice. Alright, we are going first. We have Counterspell and Shark and Mass Removal. And we can already see that's the key card for the matchup. So as usual, the only question is, do we survive to play this card? Let's start with this. We won't be cycling like for 90%, because we have here cycling, we have here Counterspell, so we won't really have mana. Oh yeah, that's the card. That's the stuff. And it might have been mistake, but I think it wasn't, because at some point we would pay life otherwise, and I think killing his 2-drop is like much more important. And right now we have everything set. We can counter everything, and he knows it. Like, when the enemy sees 3 mana with 2 blue, he knows what it means. He can even expect absorb at this point, because we have also white. So he knows not to play into counter spells too much, and if he does a weak turn, like buying Clurus, okay, that's weird. That's so weird. So he has some kind of instant, but I cannot think of any good instant. So we will see. Show us what you got. I'm pretty sure you have something. Like, that's the perfect occasion to play it. And that's a perfect card to draw into. Okay, so we can go both ways. We have 5 mana untapped already, and that's the biggest thing here. We can even cycle the land. So you know what? Let's go for the... Well, oh man, that's so interesting. Because we can either play both of those cards. Like, what's the chance that he won't play anything? I don't think high. But there are also low chances that he will play 2 cards. And you know, worst case, we can sweep everything. Like, I'm ready. Just show whatever you have. The enemy doesn't exactly mind him losing the life, because he has this avatar creature for 1 mana. That's, I think, 13 minus his life, so that's why he has all this stuff, just to, you know, hurt himself in a way he likes. He just enjoys it. Oh no, we don't have Shark anymore. So, GG boys, we lost it. RIP. That's such a weird deck. Like, he doesn't do anything and he should be pressuring hugely. So, you know, let's just take it slow, like the enemy does. The only thing that is weird is that he doesn't buy lures. It seemed to be perfect turn and he didn't use mana and everything, so on anything. So why wouldn't you buy lures? Maybe he expects the game to be so insanely slow that it doesn't matter, but then why do it like this? There are no like flash creatures in the deck. What the hell are you doing, man? Like, he is already at 9 and I never touched him even. We have so much stuff that at this point I think we just let him. Because we can use both the sweeper and the counter spell next turn. Does he has no, he doesn't have any creatures outside of this. I don't want to pay life, so let's go with this one. And let's use the first one. I see an argument just to counter it, but I have one counter and 2 sweepers with additional removal. So this is something I wouldn't be able to counter otherwise. Like, he would take sweeper, but at this point we would end in the same situation, but he would see my hand. And that's huge. So we are now waiting for the Teferi, and we will bluff. You don't want enemy to know that you have literally nothing in the hand. And if there's one card outside of Teferi I would love to see, it's the Tome. Oh, it feels so good. And we will draw anyway. We cannot play Teferi this turn, so it won't matter at this point. Okay. And that's fine. Okay, so that was the play. So he waited with Bedevil, he expected some maybe Planewalker or Tome or something. Okay, so let's make stops. And let's undo the stops, because we have Shark Typhoon, so that's the same. Actually, you can see the stops from here, because during the combat phase it's different. Okay? You got it, bro. So the enemy can play it. And I think he might. Okay, he doesn't. Okay, now the big question. I think the play is drawing anything, and if it's a land, we don't play it, just to discard 2 Croxa. He doesn't have enough cards, but it's only 5, so he needs 2 cards, and I think with all of those, he can easily do it. So, we play the Shark Typhoon, because at this point we can't know when the win condition will be drawn, so let's not risk it. That was the idea. We could go okay. We will change our plan right now. We will know, because he has Bedevil, so it means that he can kill our 1 mana artifact that prevents graveyard play. So if we play this, I think that's the play. That's what I want to do. Don't judge me. And the idea is that he will replay it somehow, probably give it haste. So it's quite possible we use 2 cards. And we actually lack 1 mana to make a Fae to wish for a verdict, because it would be much better to keep the Fae, because after we use the adventure we still get it. So every 2 cards is a wish. Make 1 wish. And you know, it's better than just having 1 card, and we can draw 5 lands in a row and we will die. So it would be better, but if he plays Croxa, then gives it haste, we need to discard 2 cards this turn. And that's not what he did. So at this point I think we are pretty happy. So, Wrath of God. Oh man. Oh, okay, because it's, unless it escaped. So it was a creature, but it didn't escape. So, this for sure, this is the worst card, because like removing from the battlefield doesn't matter as much. And at this point I think I might go for the land. Yeah, that's the play. No, I double clicked it. I would love this to have a delay. That was such a disaster. That was so amazingly bad. Okay. Let's go, oops. It's still better play, but that was horrible. And now let's click the correct one. I'm so sad. That was such a bad play. Oh man. And I don't think it changes what we take. Because this gives us some mana acceleration and prevents any graveyard play, and right now he was gearing toward Kroxa. And this is not our hand, and we have one creature. Okay, so like 4 damage doesn't matter. He should sacrifice it at the end step with Village Rites, otherwise it has no sense to play it like this. So he needs to sacrifice it somehow. Yep. So in this way he got 3 for 2, which is great. Well, not great, it's good for him. And I do want Fae of Wishes. And he can only draw cards, so he cannot really do much with this. It seems to be Bedevil, but still we get 1 card, his card, and also a draw, so it's still worth it, even if he has it. So let's do it right now. I need to stop clicking so much, like, oh man, this was such a huge deal, wasting 2 of my key cards, one being a land, maybe not so key card, but you know, you get the idea. And like the adventure zone is super important in this matchup, because he probably gets Thought Size at some point. He already got one from what I remember. However, if you have this card in adventure zone, he cannot interact with it. So yeah, like you need 2 other cards to do it, but still it's much better this way for you. So let's make him declare attackers. And actually, you know what? We could try to kill him, because we have enough big shark that we can just kill him. And this is sorcery. However, if he has Bedevil, we lose the game. He already used 2, but he already had half of his deck, so at this point I think it's fine to just not risk it. I think we have better chances playing normally than this, depending on what we do. Oh man, it would be great if we had Sweeper, wouldn't it? Okay, and let's go to the blockers, so it's 3-3. It helps. Probably it will die at some point, probably instant I make it, but if it doesn't, it kills his main engine. Yeah, so it will die to Bedevil. Oh, even better, Fatal Push. So if we gambled, we would pretty much die right now. So it's good that we didn't. Oh man, he has a lot, but at this point I cannot blame anything but me. I honestly never did the double click, so I wasn't sure if it's even possible to misplay like this. And he has one card, so let's go for this. You know, there's an argument to be made to have it like settle, not settle the wreckage, but shatter the sky or something like this. So you would play it, we would have 4/4 shark and draw the card, but at this point I think it's not the best. So we need 2 cards with the Fae, and it will be risky. If he has instant card that will kill the Fae, he can do it in response, and it will be first then. Oh man, how many you have? I think he drew all of them. 2, 3. Okay, so he has one more. And we want to draw main phase, because it's possible we hit something like Teferi, and there's no reason to keep Teferi. Yeah, grab our Teferi. But still, we would be in much better shape with not misplaying it so insanely. But I think we are pretty good right now. Oh yes, that's perfect for us. I'm so happy he did it. Because next turn, whatever happens, like unless he top decked perfect removal, okay, he didn't. So how much mana do we have? 7, 9. Okay, so we have 9 mana. So we need 4. So we need 4 to just get Fae into our hand, and then 5 to do something. So it's like we could go for the graveyard thing, but that's not the main thing. So I think what we are actually doing is leaving full control for sure. And I should even do this first. So that was a mistake, but with our drawing skills it doesn't matter. And you know what? I really want additional lands. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, I hope one wish will be enough to solve this game. Okay, great. So right now I wanted to say he cannot attack. If he has thought size, and I think he has, he will use it. So it will be wasted draw. Okay, that's even better. Because this is exactly what we wanted to do anyway. So the only problem was that he could do it in response, and then he would kill the Fae, and we are with nothing. So no. Now he needs to draw, and hope he gets removal. And if he will, I will get super mad, because he doesn't have much instant removal. It's only Bedevil and Fatal Push. Or the 4th thought size. If he gets it, oh man, I will be raging so hard. So what's the last card now? Good. So he can draw one card, but he doesn't have mana to like do an instant. How much do we have? First, let's go with the obvious play and think with the board. We could clear everything. Actually, he cannot draw even. I don't think we have anything that may give that deals damage, which might be a mistake. I think I need to get one card that does it. We have Wogan maybe, but it's too expensive. 3, 6, 7. So if we had one additional mana maybe, but not this time. So it probably will be Shadow Verdict. We don't want him to draw a card, so it's better this way. Yeah. He cannot draw, so he has one draw, and we still can wish next turn. We also have Tome. Oh, that's loud. So I think this is the game. So as you can see, deck is so sweet that we can misplay a lot and it doesn't matter, so you can feel like an aggro for a second. But who knows, maybe the enemy has something. If he makes Croxa... Double Croxa wouldn't kill us. He needs haste, so that would be 3 cards, like 2 cards. Great. And that's how you reach Platinum. You just run deck based with sweepers and removals all day long, and then you misplay it horribly, and it's enough.
With